You wake up because your wall explodes. Not cracks. Explodes. Glass hits your face. Plaster fills the air. Your window just retired permanently. Then you hear it. A Thompson submachine gun. And it's not firing warning shots. It's 3:17 inches the morning. You were asleep 10 seconds ago. Now someone is trying to uninstall you from life. You roll off the bed. Your hand goes under the pillow. Revolver. Loaded. Good. Because this isn't random. This isn't a robbery. This is business. And here's the part nobody tells you. The gunfire? That's not even the worst part of being a Prohibition gangster. Not even close. Because in 1920s Chicago, there were only 3 endings. You got shot, you poisoned someone, or you got audited. And somehow the audit was the one that actually worked. But we'll get to that. First, let's talk about why you said yes in the first place. You're 21, broke, invisible. The government bans alcohol, which sounds moral, until you realise Americans love alcohol more than they love rules. So now the most popular product in the country is illegal. Demand doesn't shrink, it explodes. And when demand explodes, opportunity follows. That's when you walk into your first speakeasy. Jazz everywhere, smoke thick in the air. Men in sharp suits counting stacks of money like they're rehearsing. And you feel it instantly. Power, not criminal. Power. You hear names whispered like legends. Al Capone, Johnny Torrio, Dion O'Banion. They aren't hiding. They're running neighborhoods. Police don't chase them. Police wave at them. You don't see danger. You see a shortcut. And that shortcut looks clean at first because the first job feels harmless. Drive this truck. Deliver these crates. Don't ask questions. Inside? Whiskey hidden under apples. If police stop you, you're a fruit salesman. If rival gangs stop you, you improvise. You complete one delivery. They hand you an envelope. You open it, and suddenly your moral compass updates its software. Because that's more money than you've ever seen. And here's the trap. The money hits before the fear does. Within weeks, you upgrade your clothes. Within months, your apartment. Within a year, your enemies. Because by 1922, Chicago isn't just a city. It's a battlefield disguised as opportunity. They call it the Beer Wars. Between 1922 and 1926, over 300 mobsters are killed in Chicago alone. Another 160 shot by police. In New York, more than 1,000 die in mob violence. You didn't join a liquor business. You joined a war with better tailoring. And here's what war does. It rewires you. You memorize exits in every building. You never sit with your back to the door. You don't drive the same route twice. You sleep lightly, because deep sleep is risky when people want your territory. And the enemies aren't always obvious. One boss gets killed. Another retaliates. Then someone retaliates for that retaliation. At some point, nobody remembers who started it. It just continues. Big Jim Colosimo. Dino Banyan. Jaime Weiss. Dead. Each murder sparks revenge. Each revenge sparks another funeral. You start noticing something strange. The higher someone climbs, the shorter they last. Even at the top, it's not safer. Al Capone makes up to $100 million a year. That's absurd money. Fancy cars, perfect suits, photographers everywhere. But under the suit, a bulletproof vest. Around him, bodyguards. In his head, constant math. Because power doesn't eliminate fear. It multiplies it. And then something happens that nobody planned for. The liquor starts killing customers. Not rivals. Customers. The government poisons industrial alcohol with methanol to stop drinking. Bootleggers steal it anyway. Some filter it, some don't. Some add chemicals to stretch supply. By 1926, at least 750 New Yorkers are dead from poisoned alcohol. Hundreds of thousands injured, blinded, paralyzed. And here's the nightmare. You don't always know which batch is deadly. You pour a drink on Friday. By Sunday, someone can't see. You didn't sign up for that. But now every bottle feels like a gamble. And bad reputation spreads faster than bullets. But even poison isn't the thing that truly ends this era. February 14th, 1929, 7 men stand in a Chicago garage. They think it's routine. 2 men dressed as police walk in. Machine guns fire. 7 bodies drop. The St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Now the whole country is watching. And this is where the real shift happens. Because when violence becomes headline news, the government responds differently. You expect more shootouts, more raids. Instead, you get accountants. In 1927, the Supreme Court rules illegal income can be taxed, which means your bootlegging profits, taxable. And if you don't report them, prison, treasury agents start studying bank deposits, ledgers, spending patterns. They don't need Tommy guns. They need arithmetic. You can bribe a cop. You cannot bribe math. One by one, powerful gangsters fall, not to rivals, to paperwork. And then in 1931, it happens. Capone goes to prison. Not for murder, not for ordering hits. For tax evasion, the most feared gangster in America is taken down by accounting. That's when every bootlegger realizes something terrifying. Bullets were predictable. Audits are not. And if it sucked to be a prohibition gangster before, now it feels claustrophobic. Because the government found the loophole, you hide cash in walls, under floors, in fake names. You trust no bank. You trust fewer people. But paranoia doesn't stay at work. It follows you home. George Remus makes $50 million bootlegging, then shoots his wife in a park after discovering betrayal, claims temporary insanity, walks free. This life doesn't just create violence. It distorts minds. Arguments escalate quickly when everyone owns weapons. Children learn silence early. Wives sleep lightly. Every knock at the door freezes the room. And if rivals don't kill you, if poison doesn't ruin you, if the IRS doesn't cage you, prison waits anyway. When Capone is sent to Alcatraz, there are no bribes, no luxury, no power, just cold concrete and steel bars. Disease eats his brain. He leaves broken, dead at 48. Others commit suicide rather than face decades behind bars. There's no retirement plan, no pension, no peaceful ending, just 3 exits. Prison, insanity, grave. So when people romanticize this era, when they picture suits and jazz and swagger, they don't see 3 17 inches the morning. They don't see poisoned customers. They don't see accountants building silent cages. You joined because you wanted respect. You stayed because the money felt unstoppable. You survived because you were careful. But careful isn't peaceful. And survival isn't freedom. That's the truth hidden behind the glamour. It sucked to be a prohibition gangster. Not because there wasn't money, but because there was never peace. And peace was the one thing you could never smuggle.